Hey, and welcome to another episode of Fashion and Beauty with Rabiah. Have you ever heard the saying, you're never fully dressed without a smile? Well, this week it's all about achieving or maintaining that bright, beautiful smile. We visited dentist Dr. Alexander Jean-Pierre, and he gave us a few tips and some very valuable advice. So I'm here at a Brighter Smile Dental Clinic with Dr. Alexander Jean-Pierre, and he so graciously agreed to give us some tips and some advice on how to care for our teeth. So let's get right into it.
Yes.
First question is, can you give us some general tips on how to care for our teeth?
Okay. That will fall under oral hygiene. Now, oral hygiene is generally the practice of brushing and flossing one's teeth the recommended amount of time to keep away plaque and unnecessary bacteria from the mouth. So that things like periodontitis or periodontitis, gingivitis, cavities, and decay in the teeth may be avoided. How one can do that? You will probably brush twice or 3 times a day, because most people work and don't have the opportunity to do it after every meal.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that at least on a morning after you've eaten and you're on your way out, and the last thing before you go to bed at night.
Okay.
And I would stress flossing is at least twice or 3 times a day as well.
Twice or 3 times a day?
Yes, mouthwashes are not always recommended unless you're taking care of additional problems. Most mouthwashes are there for just masking certain problems.
Yeah.
They just create cosmetic, they're just cosmetic implements. Unless other mouthwashes were prescribed by the doctor to deal with any infections in the mouth, probably even after wisdom tooth extraction or any other extraction that could have caused problems. Or sometimes we recommend them during treatments when there's a tremendous buildup of plaque or calculus. When plaque gets harder, it's referred to as calculus. And at this stage, the patient, is unable to remove it by using a simple toothbrush and regular home care, and that's why you should see your dentist or hygienist every 6 months to have it done.
Is there a particular way to brush? I've heard people say, you shouldn't brush. Usually when you brush to the corners. So is there a particular motion
Yes,
to
there
use
is
when
a
brushing?
particular motion. And here, I always use this term. I tell my patients, brush and don't scrub. People think that the more muscles they build when they are scrubbing, they're brushing their teeth is better. But we always stress the importance, again, of using a soft brush. So you should look for a soft brush with nylon bristles. And so I wouldn't directly call any names, but you can speak to your pharmacist about it. And the action or the pattern is an up-down motion when you're in the upper arch, up-down, along these areas, and similarly in the bottom. On the biting surfaces, it should be in this manner, and around what we would refer to as the lingual, where the tongue is located, or in the palate, in the upper arch, we go down, up, down, up. Yes. Here, where the incisors are located in the front, in the lower arch or the upper arch, again, down, up, down, up. Right? Down, down, in this arch. Okay? Like this. And not too hard. Brushing should take about 2 minutes. You don't want to brush too much either.
Yeah.
So 2 minutes, 2 to 4 minutes is good as far as time is concerned, spending time with it.
My question, since you said it's better to brush and not scrub, are electronic toothbrushes okay? Are
Yes,
they?
I've found some of them to be very good. Again, I won't call any particular brands, but we have found them to, a lot of our patients use them, and we find that they have good results. I can't say that they are not, but you can use your regular toothbrush and you will have the same results. But then I don't have a problem with them, because some people for whatever issues they might have with dexterity, etc., may be unable to use a regular brush.
Yeah.
So if they have a power brush, it can help them.
Okay. Can you give us some tips on how to keep our teeth white, how to avoid us, getting those yellow stains on our teeth?
Well, coffee overuse and certain teas, as well as red wine, and the biggest one of all is smoking. One of the bad habits that people have is smoking, and I generally would suggest to persons, if you can, you should quit smoking as much as possible, as fast as possible, because apart from being cigarette smoke contains tartar, and when this is mixed with oxygen, it tends to give a yellow stain on the teeth. And the only way you can fix that is by having your hygienist or your dentist clean them. But there are parts of it that the hygienist or the dentist cannot fix. And with time, smoking will cause similar problems, and periodontal disease can onset. You can have an onset of that, and that will break down all the tissue around the teeth, and can cause them to shake or fall out.
Oh.
Especially those persons who like to use cigarettes without filters. That is even worse. So I would suggest that you be very careful with certain habits. And if you could, again, instead of having the 6 months, you try to come in every 3 months for those persons.
Now on to breath. How can you avoid bad breath?
Well, the stigma with bad breath is sometimes overplayed, because bad breath can come from a number of reasons. One, it can come from food. Two, it can come from ailments that the person may have, or using certain medication. Or three, it is all about what is going on in the mouth. So what we must eliminate the other possibilities. In other words, if somebody has a lot of tooth decay, if there's a lot of buildup of plaque, if the person is not brushing effectively, yes, you will have that. But something after you've eaten food with onions, food with garlics, even coffee, you can have an odor being residual. What you have to do is monitor that, make sure that you would have, after you use something like that, you shake the mouth out with even one of the regular mouthwashes. But if you have found that you've treated all the problems within the mouth, clean and scrape there's tongue scrapers that you can buy to clean and scrape the tongue to remove any bacteria that may lodge itself in the crevices of the tongue. Once you have eliminated those problems, then it may be something more systemic, coming from the stomach, whether it's liver problems, whether it's sinusitis, whether it's gastrointestinal problems, respiratory problems. So one sometimes need to consult one's general practitioner to find out if these are some of the problems. If you're using certain medications and it causes a slowdown in saliva, because if the saliva is not moving fast in the mouth, it would not cause the bacteria that is in the mouth to move, and when it settles, then you will get that. So that's why sometimes people, we refer to morning breath, because in the morning, at night, everything slows down. So you get up in the morning and go, oh.
Well then that makes sense.
So if that is an issue for you, and people who sleep with other people, who have partners, I would suggest maybe the first thing you do before you say your morning hellos, you go and you take a rinse, and then you can say hello if you feel a little cautious, if you want to be cautious about it.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jean-Pierre, for joining us on today's show, and thank you, viewers, for watching. Be sure to join us next week for another episode of Fashion and Beauty with Rabiah. For more on fashion, look out for our fashion magazine published every Wednesday within our e-paper. Just log on to www.barbadostoday.tv. Until next time, put your best face forward.